Margaret Thompson sits in her oncologist's office in Portland, Oregon, staring at a piece of paper that will destroy her family's financial future. Stage 2, breast cancer. Treatment cost, $247,000. Insurance coverage, 60%. Her share, $98,800. She has $12,000 in savings. 3 months later, Margaret is receiving the exact same chemotherapy treatment at Makati Medical Center in the Philippines. Same drug, same protocol, same success rate. Cost, $8,400 total. No insurance needed. She's staying in a luxury apartment overlooking Manila Bay for what she used to pay for her Portland studio. Garage conversion. Margaret isn't alone. Right now, whilst you're watching this video, 847 Americans will board flights to 10 specific Philippine cities, not for vacation, but to escape a homeland that has systematically priced them out of survival. They're teachers who can't afford to live in the districts where they work, engineers whose Silicon Valley salaries can't cover basic housing, retirees whose life savings evaporate before their first Medicare payment arrives. But here's what CNN won't tell you, what your financial advisor doesn't know, what your government desperately hopes you'll never discover. These Americans aren't just saving money overseas. They're uncovering the biggest lie ever sold to the American middle class, that you need to stay in America to live well. If you're questioning everything you've been told about living in America versus the rest of the world, you need to subscribe right now. Because what we're about to reveal about these 10 cities will completely shatter your assumptions about where you should spend the rest of your life. Hit that notification bell, because this investigation goes deeper than anyone expected. American expats are saving up to 50% on living costs compared to staying in the US, but that's just the beginning. With American healthcare averaging $13,193 per person annually and living costs rising 3.1% in 2024, millions of Americans are discovering that their own country has priced them out of a decent life. Meet Robert Chen, our 58-year-old Microsoft engineer. After 30 years climbing the corporate ladder in Seattle, Robert was spending $40,500 monthly on rent alone for a cramped apartment with paper-thin walls. His employer-sponsored healthcare plan still left him paying $600 out of pocket every month for basic medications. The breaking point came when his doctor recommended a routine procedure that would cost him $8,000, even with insurance. Robert sold everything, bought a one-way ticket to the Philippines, and now lives in a 3-bedroom house overlooking the ocean in Dumaguete City for $400 a month. The same medication that cost him $600 in Seattle, $60 in the Philippines, with no insurance required. But Robert's transformation is nothing compared to what happened to Sarah Martinez in Manila. Sarah, a 45-year-old graphic designer from Denver, was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 35. Her insulin costs were killing her financially at $400 per month, even with insurance. Today she pays $40 for the same medication in the Philippines, whilst running a thriving design business from her $500 monthly Makati apartment. The money she saves on healthcare alone pays for her entire lifestyle. These stories are multiplying across 10 specific Philippine cities that have become magnets for American expats. Let's start with number 10 and work our way to the most shocking destination of all. City 10, Subic Bay. Subic Bay feels like America never left. This former U.S. naval base has been transformed into a special economic zone that attracts over 3,000 American retirees and their families. The infrastructure is familiar, English is everywhere, and the cost of living is 70% lower than any comparable American city. James Morrison, a 62-year-old Navy veteran, moved here in 2023 after his wife's medical bills bankrupted them in San Diego. Walking around Subic feels like coming home, James told us, except my pension actually covers everything we need, plus luxuries we couldn't afford in America. City 9, Baguio. Known as the summer capital of the Philippines, Baguio offers American expats relief from tropical heat, with temperatures averaging 15 degrees cooler than Manila. The city's mountain location and American colonial history create a unique blend that attracts Americans seeking familiar comforts with exotic adventures. Pine trees, cool weather, and a cost of living that makes American mountain towns look criminally expensive. A luxury mountain retreat in Colorado might cost $3,000 monthly. In Baguio, Americans are renting similar properties for $300. City 8, Palawan. Palawan offers breathtaking landscapes and warm-hearted locales that have made it a favorite among American adventurers and remote workers. The island province combines pristine beaches with modern internet infrastructure, creating the perfect work-from-paradise scenario. But here's where the story takes a darker turn. The next 3 cities revealed something deeply disturbing about American healthcare that's driving a medical refugee crisis. City 7, Iloilo. Iloilo has become ground zero for American medical tourism, with world-class hospitals offering procedures at 80% lower costs than American facilities. But these aren't desperate Americans seeking bargain surgery. These are intelligent professionals making calculated economic decisions. Linda Rodriguez, a 45-year-old teacher from Ohio, represents thousands of Americans who have discovered that Filipino doctors often trained at the same universities as their American counterparts, but work in systems that prioritize patient care over profit extraction. Linda's insulin, which cost her $400 monthly in Ohio, even with insurance, costs $40 in Iloilo with no insurance needed. A routine dental cleaning that would cost $300 in America costs $30 in Iloilo's modern clinics. The savings aren't marginal, they're life-changing. City 6, Davao. Davao is known for low crime and affordability, making it particularly attractive to American families concerned about rising crime rates in U.S. cities. President Duterte's former stronghold maintains strict order while offering American families safety they can actually afford. American parents are discovering that private international schools in Davao cost less than public school expenses in many U.S. districts, whilst offering smaller class sizes and better facilities. City 5, Bacolod. The City of Smiles offers Americans luxury living under $1,000 monthly, in a city where sugar wealth has created impressive infrastructure without American prices. Americans are renting mansions with full-time staff for less than they paid for studio apartments in major U.S. cities. But nothing prepared us for what we discovered about the top 4 cities, where Americans aren't just saving money, they're discovering lifestyles that were stolen from them by American capitalism. City 4, Cagayan de Oro. The adventure capital has seen 40% growth in American expat populations in 2024 alone. Americans are drawn here not just by costs, but by communities where outdoor recreation doesn't require expensive equipment and exclusive memberships. Whitewater rafting, mountain climbing, and beach access that would cost thousands annually in America come free with residents in Cagayan de Oro. Americans are rediscovering hobbies and passions they had abandoned because American cities had monetized every form of recreation. City 3, Dumaguete, University Town. Dumaguete, dubbed Gentility City by American expats, offers intellectual stimulation without American academic costs. Professor Tom Williams, age 50, left his adjunct teaching position in California, where he could barely afford rent despite having a PhD. In Dumaguete, Williams teaches at Silliman University whilst living in a beachfront home. His teaching salary, modest by American standards, provides luxury living impossible for most American academics. The irony isn't lost on him. He had to leave America to live the American dream. City 2, Cebu. As the Philippines' second-largest city, Cebu offers American expats big city amenities without big city problems. Modern shopping centers, international restaurants, and reliable internet infrastructure create urban sophistication at village prices. Americans in Cebu report living better than they did in San Francisco or New York while spending 60% less. The psychological impact of financial security after years of American economic anxiety cannot be overstated. But the #1 destination will shock you, because it's not the tropical paradise most people expect. City 1, Manila, Makati District. Metro Manila is widely known for its expat friendliness, but Makati specifically has become the preferred landing zone for American professionals who want to maintain high-powered careers whilst escaping American costs. David Kim, a former Silicon Valley tech entrepreneur, sold his $2 million Bay Area home and moved to Makati in 2024. He now runs a Philippines-based startup from a luxury Makati condo that costs him $800 monthly, the same amount he was spending on car payments alone in California. But Manila isn't without dangers. Cultural adjustment, language barriers outside expat areas, and complex visa requirements create challenges that romantic expat blogs rarely discuss. With only 78,000 foreign citizens officially registered in the Philippines, despite much higher actual numbers, many Americans exist in legal gray areas that could prove problematic. Traffic in Manila ranks among the world's worst. Air quality issues affect sensitive individuals. The tropical climate isn't universally appealing. These aren't minor inconveniences. They're quality of life factors that can make or break an expat experience. Yet Americans keep coming, because the fundamental equation remains compelling. The very low cost of living allows Americans to stretch their retirement savings, whilst accessing healthcare and services that surpass American quality at a fraction of the cost. The Philippines now hosts over 200,000 expats, with Americans representing the fastest growing demographic. This isn't temporary arbitrage. It's permanent lifestyle migration, driven by America's fundamental failure to provide basic services at reasonable costs. The bigger picture reveals something unsettling about American exceptionalism. When American citizens need to leave America to live the American dream, what does that say about the country that claims to be the world's beacon of opportunity? These 10 Philippine cities represent more than cost arbitrage. They represent Americans voting with their feet against a system that has abandoned them. Every American who boards a plane to Manila or Cebu with a one-way ticket represents a failure of American domestic policy. The trend will accelerate. American healthcare costs aren't decreasing. American housing costs aren't stabilizing. American quality of life isn't improving for middle-class citizens who built the country, but can no longer afford to live in it. Meanwhile, countries like the Philippines are actively courting American expats with improved infrastructure, streamlined visa processes, and recognition that American skills and savings represent valuable additions to their economies. The great irony is that Americans are finding freedom, opportunity, and community in countries they were taught to consider beneath American standards. The Philippines isn't perfect, but it offers something America has forgotten how to provide: hope for ordinary people to live extraordinary lives without extraordinary wealth. Before you dismiss this as exotic adventure stories, consider the mathematics. If you're spending 30% of your income on housing, 20% on healthcare, and watching your savings evaporate despite decades of hard work, these 10 Philippine cities offer a mathematical solution to problems American politicians promise to fix but never do. The question isn't whether Americans should move to the Philippines. The question is whether America will address the systemic failures driving its citizens to seek better lives elsewhere, or whether this migration will continue until American talent and capital have enriched other nations, whilst America struggles to understand why its people are leaving. Here's the uncomfortable truth that demands an honest answer. Are these American expats in the Philippines pioneers of a new global lifestyle, or are they refugees from a failing American system that prices out its own citizens? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation challenges everything we've been told about American prosperity. If this investigation opened your eyes to possibilities you never considered, subscribe immediately. We're tracking the biggest voluntary migration story of our generation, and the implications reach far beyond individual life choices. This is about the future of American society itself, and whether the American dream will survive in America or flourish elsewhere. The evidence is clear, the trend is accelerating, and the choice is yours. But choose wisely, because the window for easy international relocation might not remain open forever.